I am Lavium. Welcome back to Limbus Company Bible Readings. Today, it's time to use the House of Spiders. No, wait, the House of Spiders Ryōshū. But first, I have to use base Ryōshū, actually, in order to get the achievements done. And then I will just use Toss to swap them out. So, return at 40. Joseph interprets 2 dreams! First, I'll select the next stage. Also, I took the wrong E.G.O anyway. I took 4 Kagawa, the 4th match flame, because Perry needed the special music if they're the last one out of all 12 of them. So I had 4 Kagawa in my EXP Revocation one. Okay, so my initial plan is, so the new E.G.O diff, let me just show that real quick, is this one, Entangled, Spiderweb Entangled in red. So basically it's to make it where the other ones do not revive. I have 5, so after the 7 or 6 House of Spiders die, I have 5 burn and then 1 poise tank. So I'm pretty sure you need to have at least 5 on the field for the buffs to count. So, which means I should not be doing any E.G.O diff fusions if I want this team to work. I did take a look at the new theme packs as well, so I probably will take at least 1 of the, or 2 of the former hidden bosses, and then I'll take Rudder Free being the new like packs. So for this is very long. Like, okay, I'm just going to take the House of Spiders on this one. I think the burn 5 later, and Zwei Rodion to help with the shield for if I have 5 Wrath. Alright. Oh, I forgot I need to put it in windowed. Right now I have it in full screen, so I can't really, it's a bit distracting not being able to see the OBS. I like seeing the OBS. Alright. Sometime later, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker offended their royal master. Pharaoh became angry with these 2 officials, and he put them in the prison where Joseph was. In the palace of the captain of the guard, they remained in prison for twice some time. And the captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, who looked after them. While they were in prison, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker each had a dream one night, and each dream had its own meaning. When Joseph saw them the next morning, he noticed they both looked upset. "Why do you look so worried today?" he asked them. And they replied, "We both had dreams last night, but no one can tell us what they mean." "Interpreting dreams is God's business," Joseph replied. "Go ahead and tell me your dreams." So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream first. "In my dream," he said, "I saw a grapevine in front of me. The vine had 3 branches that began to bud and blossom, and soon it produced clusters of ripe grapes. I was holding Pharaoh's wine cup in my hand, so I took a cluster of grapes and squeezed the juice into the cup. Then I placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand." "This is what the dream means," Joseph said. "The 3 branches represent 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift you up and restore you to your position as his chief cupbearer. And please remember me and do me a favor when things go well for you. Mention me to Pharaoh, so he might let me out of this place. For I was kidnapped from my homeland, the land of the Hebrews, and now I am here in prison, but I did nothing to deserve it." When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given the first dream such a positive interpretation, he said to Joseph, "I had a dream too. In my dream, there were 3 baskets of white pastries stacked in my hand. The top basket contained all kinds of pastries for Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate them from the basket on my head." Now we're going to put it into windowed, so I can actually see my OBS, so I'm not paranoid. I'm sorry, I was supposed to go play Counterside instead right now. I started reading anyway. And afterwards, this is part 1. So I break it into 2 or 3 parts. I think I break it into 2. I might skip some of the ring automation fights or automatons. Those things are... Why are all 4 of the... Remember, you have to do all 4 of them with base Ryōshū on the boss. So I have to leave them at like the 8th slot, I guess. Yeah, fight it. Okay. This is what the dream means! Okay, I'm gonna hide desktop audio first. Wait, hide. Hide desktop audio, so now I just see the daemon inputs. Make sure the audio is working this time, just sometimes after I use headphones, it stops working, so. Joseph told him, the free bastards also present 3 days. 3 days from now, Pharaoh will lift you up and impale your body on a pole. Then birds will come and peck away at your flesh. Pharaoh's birthday came 3 days later, and he prepared a banquet for all his officials and staff. He summoned his chief cupbearer and chief baker to join the other officials. He then restored the chief cupbearer to his former position, so he could again hand Pharaoh his cup. But Pharaoh impaled the chief baker, just as Joseph had predicted when he interpreted his dream. Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought. Pharaoh's dreams, 41. 2 full years later, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing on the bank of the Nile River. In his dream, he saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and began grazing in the marsh grass. Then he saw 7 more cows come up behind them from the Nile. But these were scrawny and thin. These cows stood beside the fat cows on the riverbank. Then the scrawny, thin cows ate the 7 healthy fat cows. At this point in the dream, Pharaoh woke up. But then he fell asleep again and had a second dream. This time he saw 7 heads of grain, plump and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. My finger there so I remember where I was, hopefully. I need to keep track of where I was. Okay, so are they... No, they need like a normal fight, so high on sanity. At least I'm not live, so I take a break whenever I want, and my voice won't get worn out. That's good! I actually just hit the book and moved my finger. Oh! Imagine just doing that. Wow. Okay, Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, but these were shriveled and withered by the east wind, and these thin heads swallowed up the 7 plump, well-formed heads! Then Pharaoh woke up again and realized it was a dream. The next morning, Pharaoh was very disturbed by these dreams, so he called out for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. When Pharaoh told them his dreams, not one of them could tell him what they meant. Finally, the king's chief cupbearer spoke up. Today, I have been reminded of my failure. He told Pharaoh, some time ago, you were angry with the chief baker and me, and you imprisoned us in the palace of the captain of the guard. One night, the chief baker and I each had a dream, and each dream had its own meaning. There was a young Hebrew man with us in the prison who was a slave of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he told us what each of our dreams meant. And everything happened just as he had predicted. I was restored to my position as cupbearer, and the chief baker was executed and impaled on a pole. Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once, and he was quickly brought from the prison. Alright, we have a shop node. We can pause. After he had shaved and changed his clothes, he went in and stood before Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream last night, and no one here can tell me what it means. But I have heard that when you hear about a dream, you can interpret it. It is beyond my power to do this, said Joseph replied. But God can tell you what it means and set you at ease. The Pharaoh told Joseph his dream. In my dream, he said, I was standing on the bank of the Nile River, and I saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and began grazing in the marsh grass. But then I saw 7 sick-looking cows, scrawny and thin, come up after them. I've seen such sorry-looking animals in all the land of Egypt. These thin, scrawny cows ate the 7 fat cows. But afterwards, you wouldn't have known it, for they were still as thin and scrawny as before. Then I woke up. In my dream, I also saw 7 heads of drain, full and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of drain appeared, but these were blighted, shriveled, and withered by the east wind. And the shriveled heads swallowed the 7 healthy heads. I told these dreams to the magicians, but no one to tell me what they mean. Joseph responded, both of Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. God is telling Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The 7 healthy towels and the 7 healthy heads of drain both represent 7 years of prosperity. The 7 thin, scrawny towels that come up later, and the 7 thin heads of drain, withered by the east wind, represent 7 years of famine. This will happen just as I have described it, for God has revealed to Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The next 7 years will be a period of great prosperity throughout the land of Egypt. But afterwards, there will be 7 years of famine so great that all the prosperity will be forgotten in Egypt. Famine will destroy the land. This famine will be so severe that even the memory of the good years will be erased. As for having 2 similar dreams, it means that these events have been decreed by God, and he will soon make them happen. Therefore, Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man, and put him in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh should appoint supervisors over the land, and let them collect 1/5 of all the crops during the 7 good years. Have them gather all the food produced in the good years that are ahead, and bring it to Pharaoh's storehouses. Store it away and guard it, so there will be food in the cities. That way, there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come to the land of Egypt. Otherwise, this famine will destroy the land. Joseph made lure of Egypt. Okay, I'm too hungry, so I end up getting a small snack. Who needs sanity? And swap Ishmael off for Sinclair. Alright. So time for you to like sub-tangent of me talking about what I'm eating. Alright. I'll start with the more disappointing thing. Maple green tea. I had a pack of these, like 10 sachets. It's bagged, unfortunately. Only place I find loose leaf is going to like one of those Chinese stores, I'm pretty sure, to find loose leaf. Other than that, you just don't find it at normal stores. We sell tea bags. But it didn't even taste like tea nor maple. It just tasted like, ugh. So I threw some of my actual maple syrup in it, and now it just tastes like maple syrup. I should probably throw a packet of green tea in. One of my videos I wanted to make like a year ago was insulting Tosto green tea for how bad it is. Since they even have like it's a mixture of like green tea and matcha powder. Because you also make iced tea if you want to. But my big issue with it is that they use glue. It's tea bag going. I wish to sell like a jar of tea or something, like tea leaves, not instead of just tea bag. Because then they put glue on the tea bag. There's glue on the tea bag. That's insane. And of course, because they want to mix up the powder as well, it's like, you have to shake out the powder of the packet. And then you lose powder if you try to cut it open and put it in like actual tea thing. They should just separate them and sell them as like in their own individual packages as an option. So I'm just, if you want me to mix those, so I'll just buy them separately and throw them into the top. Because if you're going through multiple runs with the same tea things, that powder is a one-time thing. So if you just buy the powder separately, Tosto, and then not have glue in your tea, that would be good. And then to add maple syrup in myself, I really want to sweeten it. I prefer bitter tea, to be honest. I want that tea to sit out for like an hour, and then it becomes all bitter. I like that. I know I was like, I had to actually read the box. I was throwing it out for that Tosto drink. He's like, consume immediately after steeping for like 3 minutes. Like, I steep that stuff for hours and enjoy drinking it bitter. Okay, that's maybe my personal preference. All right, for tea. What else to talk about? Also, that's the best use I have for the metal chopsticks is to use them as like stirring spoons for toffee and tea. If I put stuff in it, I usually don't put stuff in it, but if it's simple, I've said, oh, maple syrup, add maple syrup and stuff. Then I take that metal chopstick out and I stir it, throw it in the sink, or sometimes just put on a plate for later if I'm gonna have multiple batches. That's not very sanitary, is it? I don't know. Must also reiterate my PSA once again. Tween your water bottles. I tweened mine last week, I think, because it was like getting moldy and stuff. So yeah, tween your water bottles. Pro tip. Now what I'm eating here, that I was making a quick snack because I want to make like real like food later. Or actually no, I still have to eat some chicken pot pies, frozen ones. They suck. Of course, Trisha Way's frozen stuff sucks. It's like the actual restaurant. Yeah, my opinions on them are very negative. In case over here, I went to a discount store, and these are some black-eyed peas. I never had black-eyed peas before. It's like, oh wait, I see how they got their name. This is a massive black spot on them. But these are like processed, full of unhealthy chemicals. Because they're supposed to be spicy Greek peas, expired back in February because I went to a discount store. 50 cents for these. It's a bit tasteless for peas, but well, a bit tasteless for like the flavoring. I was like eating the. It's like, oh yeah, there's just some peas, some corns. That's fine. Was there drop the price though for something that's best before back in February? If it was like 25 cents, I would have bought at least 20 of these. Alright. It's like a little snack thing. You know, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have like a side dish to something. But I just have it as a snack before the main thing. Because I'm probably going to have pie with beans later as like my main meal for the day. And then while I was also outside, I also grabbed some almost best before. I was like, muffin? English muffin? They had like a bunch of them, but I only grabbed like one pack. It's like, oh, it's like 2 days to eat some bread. I don't want to throw it in the freezer. I'll just grab one pack then. Yeah, what's the issue? Why do so many of those like chain stores always have like I would call it bakery or produce that are about to go bad still be over $1? That's still a lot for something that you have to eat immediately. And they had meat that's also like, oh, 2 days left. But oh no, we're not gonna give you a sale on it or anything. No. 2 days on that beef. You're still trying to sell, oh, what, like $9 for 400 and something grams of beef? I'm surprised that frozen beef is about the same price as like fresh beef. That's crazy, isn't it? What are they doing? Or no, how corrupt are they? It's evil! Alright, I'll pause here for a shop now. Return with the actual I still some peas. Maybe I'll just stop this recording here. I don't eat these peas downstairs before I return. It's like, alright, Papa Bongi, I'm summoning Joseph on ya. Also, I saw the figure arts JoJo figures. Yeah, they still look weird with how they proportioned it. When like from how I remember when I read JoJo back in elementary school, decades ago. It's like, huh, why does his torso look so weird? All 4 of them. Alright, why adopted that from? Oh yeah, Joseph Bible, descendant of Abraham. Now he's the ruler of Egypt. We'll see what happens when it comes to the famine, how he prepares for that afterward. Alright, I just had a good idea. So I mentioned both like the English muffins and like the whole maple syrup in the drink thing. I thought, wait, why don't I just pour the maple syrup on top of the English muffins? So I threw 2 more in the toaster oven, and then now I'm going to try like high quality like maple syrup. I think it's high quality. I mean, that more expensive one from Faust. I don't really know like actual like Canadian like syrup companies. Like I don't know like one Canadian ice cream company and then 3 or 4 chip companies. Because whenever you go to like those big stores, you only ever see like those big brand names. You usually don't see like smaller ones. So let's return to Joseph made ruler of Egypt. Joseph's suggestions were well received by Pharaoh and his officials. The Pharaoh asked his officials, "Can we find anyone else like this man, so all to be filled with the spirit of God?" The Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has revealed the meaning of the dreams to you, truly no one else is as intelligent or wise as you are. You will be in charge of my court, and all my people will take orders from you. Only I, sitting on my throne, will have a rank higher than yours." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I hereby put you in charge of the entire land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in fine linen clothing and hung a gold chain around his neck. Then he had Joseph ride in the chariot reserved for his second in command. And wherever Joseph went, the command was shouted, "Kneel down!" So Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of all Egypt. And Pharaoh said to him, "I am Pharaoh, but no one will lift a hand or foot in the entire land of Egypt without your approval." And Pharaoh gave Joseph a new Egyptian name, Zipanef-Panah. He also gave him a wife whose name was Asenath. She was the daughter of Potiphar, the priest of On. So Joseph took charge of the entire land of Egypt. He was 30 years old when he began serving in the court of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And when Joseph left Pharaoh's presence, he inspected the entire land of Egypt. Alright. We will be taking my Starlight refund. I need it back. Alright, now, okay, take that. So this is offensive plus 3, no, 2 free. Alright, take sharp needle. I already got sharp needle and Fred. I was lucky to get that. Because that is, going to be helpful quite a bit. Now, for free. So, the first one of the packs you need to look for does start popping up here. But that's not what I'm here to. Oh, first let me see if I can get the Bongi pack. I'm pretty sure it's for free and above. I have a few choices here. I think I should keep one for Ryōshū, trying to get Spice Burst Branch for base power up. Actually, wait. Would that be... Wait, let me check the fusion real quick for Canto IV. Wait, hold on, actually. The fusion Spice Burst Fast and Mailed Redder. It just says every time still 1, 2, or 3 is used. It's emphasis on the or part, not and, or. After the following effect, once per still rank. So even if I don't have rank 1s, I still get 2 base power up from it. So that's a strong contender, but I do have to Canto IV then. If let's look at the other theme packs available right here. A certain world could help with the thing, Chief Butler's Secret Arts, but I don't think that I would want that. Since that would only be from the reverberations. I take this 4/4 guaranteed. I have to take that. Over here it's for Ruptured. Shield thing here is free damage. I was thinking of Dark Flame Smoking Pipe for 2 power up and 1 fragile every turn. And then do strength within 5 poise. Pierce Stills, Pride Pierce Stills. That's also probably in the contending as well. But I want there's way more offensive if I go for the fusion. I will have to try and get the plush for Block Deck, but that's gonna be hard to get a T-word with. So maybe take that 4/9 or maybe even 10 for that. Fearful Things, no certain. Okay, I think I will go for Falling Flowers. I messed up. Alright, can we get it on the there? No, it's only on Raid Up. We'll have to take the gamble here. Alright, they need to have it be a way to get the T-word with stiffs. It's too hard to try and get them. Like I said before, I failed twice at the violin for my violin. So I'm gonna take this, hopefully I can get like a Ego Diff pick thing. Gregor still does not have the sanity. I don't know why Gregor still doesn't have sanity. I always keep losing some sanity. I know that will happen. I did like Apprentice Faust over here since they max out their sanity before I start cutting them all down. That sounds good, right? Alright. As predicted, for 7 years the land produced bumper crops. During those years, Joseph gathered all the crops grown in Egypt and stored the grain from the surrounding fields in the cities. He piled up huge amounts of grain like sand on the seashore. Finally, he stopped keeping records because there was too much to measure. During this time, before the first of the famine years, 2 sons were born to Joseph and his wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, the priest of On. Joseph named his older son Manasseh, for he said, God has made me forget all my troubles and everyone in my father's family. Joseph named his second son Ephraim, for he said, God has made me fruitful in this land of my grief. At last, the 7 years of bumper crops throughout the land of Egypt came to an end. Then the 7 years of famine began. Just as Joseph had predicted, the famine also struck all the surrounding countries. But throughout Egypt, there was plenty of food. Eventually, however, the famine spread throughout the land of Egypt as well. And when the people cried out to the Pharaoh for food, he told them, go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you. So, with severe famine ever, Joseph opened up the storehouses and distributed grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout the land of Egypt. And people from all around came to Egypt to buy grain from Joseph, because the famine was severe throughout the world. Alright, now Joseph's brothers go to Egypt, 42. Oh, there's only let's fight him then. Yeah. Gregor still needs 3 more sanity. Also, I'm gonna take Rodion off the main team now. So I have I'm not at the packs yet, so I will take LCB Ryōshū off. Take the ring, lamp, sure, Pinky Apprentice. As I hopefully since he's just losing all their sanity, that would suck. Remember, I can't do any fusion diffs because they will not take effect with just Ryōshū on the field. So no fusion diff lists, or at least like the 5 needed ones. Alright, there's Der Forschütze. My win rate here. I'm gonna go check on my the things I put into Host Driven. Alright. So I'll point out right here. I swapped out my bookmark again. So my first bookmark was Hudson's Bay, like glasses, like coupon, and then later it was like some spam mail I got in the mailbox from some charity. Now it's a printed out picture of Chie Sugawara. All right, folded up because I was making a picture frame out of like I have an old box of Mega Blocks I have up here now that I use to make what was it, like a pot for like Lego flowers when my Mother's Day gift last year to my mom. And then Ware's like, oh, I still have this. What if I used to make a picture frame like that one Lego poly bag I have? So I made one for GA. Since that poly bag was used for, remember my video on the Fire Fist office, like when they revealed Gregor? On my thumbnail, like the week or two before, I did a joke like Fire Fist office. I really want a Fire Fist office ID. They have that one and like the generic like blood bag. So I printed that out in like the size that would fit the picture frame poly bag, and I printed it out as a joke. And then later there was actually Fire Fist Gregor. So that was probably one of the best moments on the channel, I guess. Is I do a joke, and then the joke becomes real. Fire Fist Gregor was released after I did the whole picture frame. Because now I have a Chie one that's bigger because it's a massive box of Mega Blocks. Well, a lot of the blocks are dirty. Some have melted. I cleaned some of them, but if I look at the back of the picture frame, so how the polybag one did it is that it was the upwards, like the upward slope ones, where it's like the 2 bottom connectors and then 4 pegs. I did the other way around, had it be the wrong other way. So I can't use my dots poly bag. Like I have some dots over here. That's not it. Yeah, dots stuff. Also spare parts from the actual Lego frame. I can't use those because they're backwards. But all of like the backside is all, the bricks are all dirty. So okay, I'm gonna check on my food now. I was talking about oh, that's like a big side tangent. Yeah, those muffins were good with that maple syrup. A bit soggy. I made sure to like crunch it up, and then all the maple syrup that fell off or leaked through, and dip it and then lick the plate so waste no syrup. But yeah, that was good. Alright, how about you, Sugawara? I'll put your bookmark aside. Return to 42. When Jacob heard that grain was available in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why are you standing around looking at one another? I have heard there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy enough grain to keep us alive. Otherwise, we'll die." Joseph's 10 older brothers went down to Egypt to buy grain, but Jacob wouldn't let Joseph's younger brother, Benjamin, go with them. Wait, page 35, can we go to 36? 38. Okay, the turn's end. Weird if I did here when the turn ends, or some pop-up or something. Hold on. This is very like a thin paper, so this is like doing for free, you know. For fear some harm might come to him, so Jacob's sons arrived in Egypt along with others to buy food. But a famine was in Canaan as well. Joseph was governor of all of Egypt and in charge of selling grain to all the people. It was to him that his brothers came. When they arrived, they bowed before him with their faces to the ground. Joseph recognized his brothers instantly, but he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. "Where are you from?" he demanded. Alright, wait, where's the dong back? Alright, take Nebulizer. Oh, of truth. Activates once appears still that triggers tremor burst. Attack still. Does that count not time for reverberations? I always grab that with reverberations, but if it doesn't work, then I don't see the point. Oh. There won't be anyone at low SP. Keep re-rolling. So I have water burn, right? So I'll keep rolling for burn. Hopefully I get Spike Bush Branch. No burn here, but I will buy Hellfire and Dust to Dust. That reduce the burn that will pop up here. Maybe a bad call there, but alright, burn again. Nothing. Alright, again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. It's on rate up too. Where is it? Ah! It's dawn, I'm telling you! It was never here to begin with! Alright, I'm fusing Tear Freeze until I did it. I would be the damn, I turned it twice in a single run. Alright, we're fusing Tear Freeze now. Alright, everyone hold on, we're fusing Tear Freeze. It's effective, and it's 2 charge barrier. Okay, that one's not. Yeah, they removed the limited to it. Before, I remember the patch notes that was limited to only ones that have charge or charge down. It's a good thing they changed that. But random free star, special contract. There's still no T-word list here. We're fusing again. All right. If I can take this Fiend Pack later, when I have more stuff to fuse. Wow. This fragment, I didn't think T-wordless, but not the right T-wordless one. Oh no. What can I get rid of? Northern Kid, I don't really need. Sure. I get rid of these, yeah. Drandwell. It's on right up. It's on right up. Featured. It's on right up. Where is it? Every time with Limbus Company, it's always this. It's always, it's on right up. You will never get it. It's gone. It was never there to begin with. You should buy that star with your free slots to buy items. Alright, no, I will fuse these away. Alright, fuse here too. I want to keep that though. I'll fuse away the bird. Alright. No, get rid of that. Yep. It's gonna go on for a while. Rusty Toyn. That would be good for Ren Space, but no! No! Alright. I'll run out of ego diffs eventually, you know. Okay, maybe not that one. This. Pierce, Liberation Alliance. Not what I need! Alright, Truth again. Is that one right up here? No, it's piece of relationship, talisman bundle, and today's expression. The rate up is a Y. How is this happening? As I don't get rid of any tier 3 burns, I'm fine, but Bell of Truth and I'm at the stew pot. Speedrunning this. Oh wow, I'm doing repeats now, huh? Okay, I don't need the charge barrier. Blue Star Shard. Okay, get rid of the night vision all with that. Imposed weight. Actually, that will work. Get rid of cigarette holder too. There we go. That took way too long. All right, that was insane. Okay, we still have some tossed here. No, not by us. Here, proof. Here still. Association, no. Spy, lightning rod, I guess. Sure. What else I can do here? Did I sell something this round? I haven't sold anything yet, I think. Did I sell lightning rod? No, I just bought lightning rod. I'll save the top then. Sure. Now we have to fight Dongbaek. Alright. From the land of Tannan, they replied. We have come to buy food. Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they didn't recognize him, and he remembered the dreams he had about them many years before. He said, oh no, it's Drifting Fox. He said to them, "You are spies! You have come to see how vulnerable our land has become." "No, my lord," they exclaimed. "Your servants have simply come to buy food. We are all brothers, members of the same family. We are honest men, sir. We are not spies." "Yes, you are," Joseph insisted. "You have come to see how vulnerable our land has become." "Sir," they said, "there are actually 12 of us. We, your servants, are all brothers, sons of a man living in the land of Tannan. Our youngest brother is back there with our father right now, and one of our brothers is no longer with us." But Joseph insisted, "As I said, you are spies. This is how I will test your story. I swear by the life of Pharaoh that you will never leave Egypt unless your youngest brother comes here. One of you must go and get your brother. I'll keep the rest of you here in prison. Then we'll find out whether or not your story is true." By the life of Pharaoh, if it turns out that you don't have a younger brother, then I'll know you are spies. Joseph put them all in prison for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph said to them, "I am a God-fearing man. If you do as I say, you will live. If you really are honest men, choose one of your brothers to remain in prison. The rest of you may go home with grain for your starving families. But you must bring your youngest brother back to me. This will prove that you are telling the truth, and you will not die." To this they agreed. Speaking amongst themselves, they said, "Truly, we are being punished because of what we did to Joseph long ago. We saw his anguish when he pleaded for his life, but we wouldn't listen. That's why we are in trouble." His trouble. "Did I tell you not to sin against the boy?" Reuben asked. "But you wouldn't listen, and now we have to answer for his blood." Of course, they didn't know that Joseph understood them, for he had been speaking to them through an interpreter. Now he turned away from them and began to weep. When he regained his composure, he spoke to them again. Then he chose Simon from among them and had him tied up right before their eyes. Joseph then ordered servants to fill the men's sack with grain. He also gave secret instructions to return each brother's payment at the top of the sack. He also gave them supplies for their journey home. So their brothers loaded their donkeys with the grain and headed for home. When they stopped for the night, and one of them opened his sack to get grain for his donkey, he found his money in the top of his sack. "Look!" he exclaimed to his brothers. "My money has been returned! It's here in my sack!" Then their hearts sank, trembling. They said to each other, "What has God done to us?" The brothers came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. They told him everything that had happened to them. The man who was governor of the land spoke very harshly to us. They told him he accused us of being spies scouting the land, but we said, we're honest men, not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of one father. One brother is no longer with us, and the youngest is at home with our father in the land of Tanan. That's more Starlight. Alright. We have 2 items. Base power +1, defense level. Alright. Offensive level +1, final power. Okay, I'm gonna take base level. And we'll get to Ryōshū, which will help until I kill the House of Spiders. Alright, we are back at Charm Wonder Doubt. Pulling out the Bible real quick. Let's see what the Bible says. Oh, pardon me, I have to burp real quick. At least my throat is better than last time. So I know in the previous Bible reading, I was like very tired. Yeah, don't I didn't take a base Ryōshū in here. I think they took too much damage. There's enough House of Spiders, so I get the free conditional for it. But oh, pardon me. Okay, maybe I drank too many fluids. The tea, also eating the dry bread covered in butter and maple syrup. Okay, that's maybe not sound like the best thing. Because all I ate today was like 4 muffins, or English muffin, and then a thing of black-eyed peas that's like very old. Probably not good for it. It tastes fine though. Because I said before, I would make real food later, which is just reheating more leftovers, but making a can of beans with it. So, I wish lettuce was cheaper. I have the stuff for a salad. Like I have cucumbers, almost ready to top them a bit more. I have onions. I can tie. I still have like 3 things of dressing. All right, and then but I have no lettuce. I'm out of lettuce. And lettuce is so expensive at those like chain stores. They want $4 for like either a single thing or a 2-pack of like what's the word? Neuter? No, not like slightly like only like basically just the stem parts from America. So I feel like almost I can get like lettuce like for more reasonable, not a good price still, but a cheaper price and also more lettuce is from those like weird like import like only stores like those Chinese ones, but of course those are way farther away. All right, so of course some question: how much is it worth for slightly cheaper lettuce compared to gas or my own energy? Wait, what am I talking about? Right? I'll hopefully lettuce goes on sale next week. There's no sale on lettuce this week. I checked the multiple stores already that are in walking distance. Because honestly, yeah, because I mentioned before how I try to walk more instead of like, oh, sort of drive or something. No, I'm going to walk up there, alright? Because I need to probably walk more. You should also walk some, alright? Maybe don't do how sometimes I either walk for like, they're like only a few minutes or multiple hours. My legs take a while to recover after those, but yeah, you should go and walk too. What are you doing if you're watching this right now? Go outside and walk if it's well, not if it's like dark out or it's like that in between part where there's like bugs everywhere. Okay, not when it's that, but it's like early in the morning or midday if you have time. Of course, other stuff will take priority over just going outside for a walk. All right. Then the man who is governor of the land told us, this is how I will find out if you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me, and take grain for your starving families, and go on home. But you must bring your youngest brother back to me. Then I'll know you are honest men, and not spies. Then I'll give you back your brother, and you may trade freely in the land. As they emptied out their sacks, there in each man's sack was a bag of money he had paid for the grain. The brothers and their father were terrified when they saw the bags of money. Jacob exclaimed, "You are robbing me of my children! Joseph is gone, Simon is gone, and now you want to take Benjamin too? Everything is going against me!" Then Reuben said to his father, "You may kill my 2 sons if I don't bring Benjamin back to you. I will be responsible for him, and I promise to bring him back." About today's expression, which was right up in the last pack. This also is in the last pack. Alright, we have this here. Give me the Pierce. Oh, lift the stall. Ishmael, lift the stall. Alright, over here. Someone a doubt. And our blossom enter the haze. Enter the haze. But Jacob replied, "My son will not go down with you. His brother Joseph is dead, and he is all I have left. If anything should happen to him on your journey, you would send this grieving white-haired man to his grave." The brothers returned to Egypt. 43. But the famine continued to ravage the land of Canaan. When the grain they had brought from Egypt was almost gone, Jacob said to his sons, "Go back and buy us a little more food." But Judah said, "The man was serious when he warned us. You won't see my face again unless your brother is with you. If you send Benjamin with us, we will go down and buy more food. But if you don't let Benjamin go, we won't go either. Remember, the man said, you won't see my face again unless your brother is with you." "Why are you so cruel to me?" Jacob moaned. "Why'd you tell him you had another brother?" The man kept asking us questions about our family, they replied. He asked, "Is your father still alive? Do you have another brother?" To answer his questions, how could we know he would say, "Bring your brother down here"? Judah said to his father, "Send the boy with me, and we'll be on our way. Otherwise, we will all die of starvation. And not only we, but you and our little ones. Our producer guaranteed his safety. You may hold me responsible if I don't bring him back to you. Then let me bear the blame forever. If we hadn't wasted all this time, we could have gone and returned twice by now." So their father Jacob finally said to them, "If it can't be avoided, then at least do this. Pack your bags with the best products of this land. Take them down to the man as gifts. Balm, honey, gum, aromatic resin, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Also take double the money that was put back in your sacks, as it was probably someone's mistake. Then take your brother and go back to the man. May God Almighty give you mercy as you go before the man, so that he will release Simon and let Benjamin return. But if I must lose my children, so be it." So the men packed Jacob's gifts and doubled the money and headed off with Benjamin. They finally arrived in Egypt and presented themselves to Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the manager of his household, "These men will eat with me this noon. Take them inside the palace. Then they'll slaughter an animal and prepare a big feast." The man did as Joseph told him and took them into Joseph's place. We now have the second ring automaton fight. Man, they really only had one set of ads for this Canto. One of them should have been like the Penticula at least, since they were like in the big thing when the OCE got raided. It should have been one automaton, one Penticula. Why is it two automatons? Because these things are just annoying when win raiding. Oh, let me just do that. We'll drink Yisong. Cool. Alright, do that. Alright, pardon me, I have to burp again. Oh, maybe I drink too many liquids. Yeah, I think there's a thing if you drink too much, like water, or in this case, water and maple green tea. That I had to add another thing of green tea into 2 bags of that maple green stuff, and add my own maple syrup in. You know. The brothers were terrified when they saw that they were being taken into Joseph's house. "Because of the money someone put in our sacks last time we were here," they said. "He'll plan to pretend that we stole it. Then he will seize us, make us slaves, and take our donkey." A feast at Joseph's place. The brothers approached the manager of Joseph's household and spoke to him at the entrance to the palace. "Sir," they said, "we came to Egypt once before to buy food, but as we were returning home, we stopped for a night and opened our sacks. Then we discovered that each man's money, the exact amount paid, was in the top of his sack. Here it is. We have brought it back with us. We also have additional money to buy more food. We have no idea who put our money in our sacks." "Relax. Don't be afraid," the household manager told them. "Your God, the God of your father, must have put this treasure into your sacks. I know I received your payment." Then he released Simon and brought him out to them. The manager then led the men into Joseph's palace. He gave them water to wash their feet and provided food for their donkeys. They were told they would be eating there, so they prepared their gifts for Joseph's arrival at noon. When Joseph came home, they gave him the gifts they had brought him, then bowed low to the ground before him. After greeting them, he asked, "How's your father, the old man you spoke about? Is he still alive?" "Yes," they replied. "Our father, your servant, is alive and well." And they bowed well with dead. Hey, this is the dreams that he mentioned earlier, wasn't it? I only have to use one of the prescript ones, right? Well, I mean, it won't matter later when you're all dead, but we have to go through all these theme packs first. Yeah, actually, we didn't get any of the exclusive diffs yet. Victor's shop note, I guess. And Joseph looked at his brother Benjamin, the son of his own mother. "Is this your youngest brother, the one you told me about?" Joseph asked. "May God be gracious to you, my son." Joseph hurried from the room because he was overcome with emotion for his brother. He went into his private room, where he broke down and wept. After washing his face, he came back out. Keeping himself under control, then he ordered, "Bring out the food!" The waiters served Joseph at his own table, and his brothers were also served at a separate table. The Egyptians who ate with Joseph sat at their own table, because Egyptians despised Hebrews and refused to eat with them. Joseph told each of his brothers where to sit, and to their amazement, he seated them according to age, from the oldest to youngest, and Joseph filled their plates with food from his own table, giving Benjamin 5 times as much as he gave the others, so they feasted and drank freely with him. Joseph's silver top, 44. When his brothers were ready to leave, Joseph gave these instructions to his palace manager. "Fill each of their sacks with as much grain as they can carry, and put each man's money back into his sack. Then put my personal silver top, the top of the youngest brother's sack, along with the money for his grain." So the manager did as Joseph instructed him. The brothers were up at dawn and were sent on their journey with their loaded donkeys. But on their journey with their loaded I think I just reread the same line again. At least it sort of worked, I guess. But when they had gone only a short distance and were veering out of the city, Joseph sent to his palace manager, "Chase after them and stop them!" 37. He catch up with them, asked them, "Why have you repaid my kindness with such evil? Why have you stolen my master's silver top, which he uses to predict the future? What a wicked thing you have done!" The palace manager caught up with the men, spoke to them as he had been instructed. "What are you talking about?" the brothers responded. Alright. Now remember, swap Ryōshū for boss. Swap Ryōshū for boss. I have a big text document out here that says swap Ryōshū for boss. Alright, I won't forget this, right? I'm going to overweight with my OBS and I'm going to pause. "We are your servants! I would never do such a thing! Didn't we return the money we found in our sacks? We brought it back all the way from the land of Canaan! Why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If you find his top with any of us, let that man die, and all the rest of us, my lord, will be your slaves." "That's fair," the man replied, "but only the one who stole the top will be my slave. The rest of you may go free." They all quickly took their sacks from the backs of their donkeys and opened them. The palace manager searched the brothers' sacks, from the oldest to the youngest, and the top was found in Benjamin's sack. When the brothers saw this, they told their clothing in despair, and they loaded their donkey again and returned to the city. Joseph was still in his palace when Judah and his brothers arrived, and they fell to the ground before him. "What have you done?" Joseph demanded. "Don't you know that a man like me can predict the future?" Judah answered, "Oh my lord, how can we say to you?" What do we say to you? "How can we explain this? How can we prove our innocence? God is punishing us for our sins, my lord. We have all returned to be your slaves, all of us, not just our brother who had your top in his sack." "No! Joseph said, I would never do such a thing. Only the man who stole the top will be my slave. The rest of you may go back to your father in peace. You had to run to the Mew dungeon. Keep reading the record. Wait, hold on. Does our percentage? Is it still the same dialogue from the main story with, yeah, regularities? Wait. It not seems. It appeared to be watching. Everyone subs for every 7 seconds and immediately destroys its head, becomes immune to its influence. It wasn't mean for gameplay, just destroying the head. Usually it would already be dead by now, you know. Yeah, I think its head is already, or body, fairy. Oh, just to observe it for turns? Like, just do nothing? Yeah, I don't think that's really tempted to. Oh, wait, Sharp Needle and Fred killed it. Alright. When we did a drink of water down. Okay, doing that voice sort of hurts. No, it does hurt. Judah speaks for his brothers. Then Judah stepped forward and said, Please, my lord, let your servant say just one word to you. Please, do not be angry with me, even though you are as powerful as Pharaoh himself. My lord, previously you asked us, your servants, do you have a father or a brother? And we responded, Yes, my lord! We have a father who is an old man, and his youngest son is a child of his old age. His full brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother's children, and his father loves him very much. And you said to us, Bring him here, so I can see him with my own eyes. But we said to you, my lord, the boy cannot leave his father, for his father would die. But you told us, unless your youngest brother comes with you, you'll never see my face again. So we returned to your servant, our father, and told him what you said. Later, when he said, Go back again and buy us more food, we replied, We can't go unless you let our youngest brother go with us. We'll never get to see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Then my father said this to us. As you know, my wife had 2 sons, and one of them went away and never returned. Doubtless he was torn to pieces by some wild animal. I have never seen him since. Now, if you take his brother away from me, and any harm comes to him, you will send this grieving, white-haired man to his grave. And now, my lord, I cannot go back to my father without the boy. Our father's wife is bound up in the boy's wife. If he sees that the boy is not with us, our father will die. We, your servants, will indeed be responsible for sending that grieving, white-haired man to his grave. My lord, I guarantee to my father that I would take care of the boy. I told him, if I don't bring him back to you, I will bear the blame forever. So please, my lord, let me stay here as a slave instead of the boy, and let the boy return with his brothers. For how can I return to my father if the boy is not with me? I can't bear to see the anguish this would cause my father. Joseph reveals his identity. 45. Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, Out, all of you! So he was alone with his brothers, and he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept. He wept so loud the Egyptians could hear him, and word of it quickly carried to the Pharaoh's palace. I am Joseph, he said to his brothers. Is my father still alive? But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. Please come closer, he said to them. So they came closer, and he said then, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. Don't be upset, and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. And with pinpoint one. Okay, did that actually make a loud sound? I'm putting it on my WAP here, but it hit like the table. Like, okay, I reacted, but not as loud. Okay, let me E.G.O lift. Bandage. All right, we'll take bottom half of that. Shock centipede. Rapidly mash buttons. Yay! This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. God! Has sent me ahead of you to keep your families alive and to preserve many survivors. So it was God who sent me here, not you! And he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of its entire prowess, and the governor of all Egypt. Now hurry back to my father and tell him that this is what your son Joseph said. God has made me master over all the land of Egypt, so come down to me immediately. You can live in the region of Goshen, where you can be near me, with all your children and grandchildren, your flocks and herds and everything you own. I'll take care of you there, for there are still 5 years of famine ahead of us. Otherwise, you, your household, and your animals will starve. Then Joseph added, Look, you can see for yourselves, and so can my brother Benjamin, that I really am Joseph. Go tell my father of my honored position here in Egypt. Describe for him everything you have seen, and bring my father here quickly. Weeping with joy, he embraced Benjamin, and Benjamin did the same. And Benjamin then kissed each of his brothers and wept over them. And after that, they began talking freely with him. Pharaoh invites Jacob to Egypt. The news soon reached Pharaoh's palace. Joseph's brothers have arrived! Pharaoh and his officials were all delighted to hear this. Pharaoh said to Joseph, Tell your brothers this is what you must do. Load your pack animals and hurry back to the land of Canaan. Then get your father and all of your families and return here to me. I'll give you the very best land in Egypt, and you will eat from the best that the land produces. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, Tell your brothers, take wagons from the land of Egypt to carry your little children and your wives, and bring your father here. Don't worry about your personal belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. So the sons of Jacob did as they were told. Joseph provided them with wagons, as Pharaoh had commanded, and he gave them supplies for their journey. And he gave each of them new clothes, but to Benjamin he gave 5 changes of clothes and 300 pieces of silver. He also sent his father 10 male donkeys, loaded with the finest products of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys, loaded with grain and bread and other supplies he would need on his journey. So Joseph sent his brothers off, and as they left, he called after them, Don't worry about all this along the way. And they left Egypt and returned to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. Joseph is still alive, they told him, and he is the governor of all the land of Egypt. Jacob was stunned at the news. He couldn't believe it. But when they repeated to Jacob everything Joseph had told them, and when he saw the wagons Joseph had sent to carry him, their father's spirits revived. And Jacob exclaimed, It must be true! My son Joseph is alive! I must go and see him before I die! Jacob's journey to Egypt, 46. Bayware entrant. What was on? Move on progress. I can't remember which one it was. Just move on progress. Yeah, so you pick one logline, you just stare at the sandy of everyone, so. After this feedback, I'm gonna take a break then. I'm gonna stop this part actually, yeah. So, Jacob set out for Egypt with all his possessions. And when he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. During the night, God spoke to him in a vision. Jacob! Jacob! He called. Here I am. Jacob cried. I am God, the God of your father. The voice said, Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, For there I will make your family into a great nation. It will go with you down to Egypt. Now, I will go with you down to Egypt, and I will bring you back again. You will die in Egypt, but Joseph will be with you to close your eyes. So Jacob left Beersheba, and his sons took him to Egypt. They carried him and their little ones and their wives in their wagons Pharaoh had provided for them. They also took all their livestock and all the personal belongings they had acquired in the land of Canaan. So Jacob and his entire family went to Egypt, sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, and all his descendants. These are the names of Jacob's descendants of Israel, the sons of Jacob who went to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's oldest son. The sons of Reuben were Hanosh, Palu, Hezron, and Talmi. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zoar, and Shaul. Shaul's mother was a Tanite woman. Hey, isn't that bad? I thought the entire thing is, no, those filthy Tanite women. You all go to your family. The sons of Levi were Dishon, Tophah, and Merari. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. Though and Onan had died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Ishchar were Tolapur, Jeshub, and Simron. The sons of Zebulun were Sered, Yilor, and Jalel. These were the sons of Leah and Jacob, who were born in Padan Aram, in addition to their daughter, Dinah. The number of Jacob's descendants, male and female, through Leah was 23. The sons of Dad were Zephron, Hagi, Shuni, Ezabon, Eri, Arodi, and Arela, and the Areli. Ari. Pardon me. Oh. The sons of Asher were Imnash, Ishvash, Isri, and Beria. Their sister was Sarah. Beria's sons were Heber and Malkiel. These were the sons of Zilpah, the servant given to La by your father Laban. The number of Jacob's descendants through Zilpah was 16. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph's sons born in the land of Egypt are Manasseh and Ephraim. Their mother was Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, the priest of On. Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Dera, Naaman, Rosh, Mupum, Hippum, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel and Jacob. The number of Jacob's descendants for Rachel was 14. The son of Dan was Hushim. The sons of Nephital were Jaziel, Duni, Jezer, and Shilim. These were the sons of Bilhah, the servant given to Rachel by her father Laban. The number of Jacob's descendants through Bilhah was 7. The total number of Jacob's direct descendants who went with him to Egypt, not counting his sons' wives, was 66. In addition, Joseph had 2 sons who were born in Egypt. So altogether, there were 70 members of Jacob's family in the land of Egypt. And also stop there. We wrote to Jacob's family arrives in As they neared the destination, Jacob sent Judah ahead to meet Joseph and did directions to the region of Goshen, where they finally arrived there. Oh, hey, how do they still so much health still? What? Joseph prepared his chariot and traveled to Goshen to meet his father, Jacob. When Joseph arrived, he embraced his father and wept, holding him for a long time. Finally, Jacob said to Joseph, "Now I am ready to die, since I have seen your face and I know you are still alive." And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's entire family, "I'll go to the Pharaoh and tell him, My brothers and my father's entire family have come to me from the land of Tanan. These men are shepherds, and they've raised livestock. They have brought with them their flocks and herds and everything they own. And he said, when Pharaoh calls for you and asks you about your occupation, you must tell him, we, your servants, have raised livestock all our lives, as our ancestors have always done. When you tell him this, he'll let you live here in the regions of Goshen, for the Egyptians despise shepherds. Jacob blesses Pharaoh. 47. Alright. And we'll stop there for this part. Yes, enter Pharaoh superstition mode. Yeah! Did you turn the Omni tool? No. Okay. T-Wireless wasn't even on raid up, too. Welcome back to Limbus Baba Readings, part 57. It's part 2 of the House of Spiders run. But we also have Haruhi Suzumiya also here. So we're zooming right out here from the live stream. Presented by SOS Brigade. Here's your supervisor, / executive director, / direction, / scenario, Haruhi Suzumiya. Lead actress, Maruku Asahina. Lead actor, Itsuki Tozumi. Supporting actress, Yuki Nagoto. Assistant director, cameraman, editing, carrying things, maid, errand boy, roundsman, other menial tasks. Sure. Only one thing crossed my mind after I saw what was written on the scrap of paper. So, what's my role? Exactly what it says on there. Haruhi waved the pointer like a conductor. You are backstage staff. The task is as written. Perfect casting, don't you think? I'm the lead character? Asuna asked in a small voice. She was dressed in her uniform instead of the maid outfit. Haruhi had told her she didn't have to wear it. It looked like Haruhi was planning on taking her somewhere. I'd rather not be in such a conspicuous role. Asuna appealed to Haruhi with a stressed look on her face. No. Haruhi replied, you need to stand out, Murkuru. You are like the trademark of this brigade. You should start to practice signing autographs. There'll be probably a lot of requests from the audience at the premiere. Premiere? Where are you going to have that? Asuna sounded quite nervous. But I can't act. Don't worry, I'll coach you through it perfectly. Asuna looked up at me fearfully and sadly lowered her eyelashes. We were the only 3 people in the room. Nagoto and Tozumi were late because of meetings about what their classes are doing. I don't see how it could require staying after school. They could just do something random. There's a lot more classes are serious about this stuff than I thought. Anyway, Yuki and Tozumi are very dependable, Haruhi said before turning her indignation toward me. I told them that this should take priority, yet they are late because of class activities. I will need to give them a strong warning. Okay, now I have a nosebleed. Oops. Okay. Where was I? It's just that Nagoto and Tozumi actually feel a sense of belonging to their class. The 3 of us are the strange ones for being in this place at this time of year. I suddenly thought of something. Asahina, don't you need to participate in your class meeting? I'm just a waitress, so the only thing left for me to do would be a costume fitting. I wonder when they'll have us wear. I'm kind of looking forward to it. She said a smile with a faint flush in her cheeks. Okay, I stopped because I want to manually do this real quick. Okay. Meursault. Brushbound past that one. So Yi Song can do Great Crystalium. That's also a RAF one, isn't it? Oh, never mind. I'll get it real quick. Yeah, sure, you can take it. I think all of these done in one turn, so it can all be fine. Yeah. It would appear that she has grown completely accustomed to dressing up in costumes. Unless wearing a costume is appropriate for the situation, beats wearing a meaningless costume for SOS Brigade purposes. There's nothing strange about a waitress in a yakisoba cafe. Makes a lot more sense than a maid in a literary club room. But Haruhi apparently blew her response way out of proportion. What's that, Mikuru? You are dying to be a waitress? You should have told me sooner. That's easy enough. I'll get an outfit for you. I suppose I shouldn't talk like this has nothing to do with me. But club members in a club room who aren't wearing a uniform might just look out of place. And his outfit was pretty out there, though. Might as well stick with the maid outfit then. Or I guess it's just personal preference. Well, that's fine. Haruhi turned back to me. John, do you know what the most important thing required to make a movie is? Whoa now! I sent through all the movies that had left a deep impression on me. In some consideration, I calmly delivered my answer. Innovative concepts and earnest passion in the production, right? It's nothing abstract like that. Haruhi denied me. It's the camera, obviously. How do you film a movie without equipment? I suppose, but I wasn't trying to be an utilitarian. Whatever. I'm not so fervent about innovative concepts or earnest passion or knowledgeable enough about film theory to put up an argument. There you have it then. Haruhi retracted the pointer and tossed out on the chief's desk. We're going to scrounge up a video camera now. Okay, I think the blood's into my head now. Okay, I think the bleeding stopped, so it's spout some blood once in a while, I guess. Wait, so did I toss the chief's desk? We're gonna scrounge it. Yeah, I think I read that part. I heard a chair twang next to me. I looked up to see that Essena's face had turned pale. Suppose that was to be expected. The computer currently enshrined in this trub room was swiped from Computer Society through Haruhi's percessive ton steam. That's torsive. The torsive ton steam? And during that incident, Asahina had been the sacrifice. The strands of Asahina's chestnut hair trembled. Her lips, like a pink shell, quivered. Suzumiya, that's right. I need to go back to the trust room right away to take care of something. Shut up! A terrifying look on Haruhi's face. Asahina, half out of her chair, gave a soft squeal before sinking back into the chair. Her chair. Haruhi suddenly went, don't worry. There isn't a single percent of you telling us not to worry, where we actually need to worry. I won't be using Mirka's body as payment this time. I just need your help for a bit. Asahina looked at me like a calf, about to be loaded onto a truck. I refrained from bursting into a chorus of Donna, and turned to Haruhi. Tell us what we are helping you with, or else Asahina and I aren't budging a step. Haruhi's face painfully said that she had no idea what we were so concerned about. We're going to round up some sponsors. It will make a better impression if the lead actress is along, right? You're also coming. You can carry stuff for us. Chapter 2. It was supposed to be fall already, but the temperature had yet to cool. I guess Earth finally went senile and forgot to change the season in Japan to fall. The summer heat appeared, set to continue diligently into extra innings with no end in sight. It would stick around forever unless someone hit a walk-off home run. Though, I got the feeling by that point, fall would be long gone, and we'd be into winter. Haruhi told us it might take a while, so we grabbed our book bags as we left school. I wondered where Haruhi was headed as she rapidly descended the hill. I really doubt we can find a sponsor willing to donate money for a high school original movie. Maybe if we were a research society, but we are an absolutely pointless, unexplained group that's existed for over half a year, despite the fact we don't know why we are here. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody even opened their door for us. After we reached the bottom of the hill, we boarded the local line of the private railway and got off at the third station. We were near the cherry-lined path where Asahina and I had taken a stroll. I saw a huge department store as well as a shopping district, a relatively busy place. With Asahina and me in her tracks, Haruhi headed straight into the shopping district. Here! The place Haruhi pointed to after she had finally stopped was an electronics store. I see, I said. First, she intends to wrangle the equipment for filming the movie out of this place. How? Hold on, I'm going to negotiate. Haruhi handed me her bag and walked into the glass-walled store. Asahina hid behind me, looking fearfully into the store, illuminated by the lighting display. Like a shy grade steward visiting a friend's house for the first time. I was all pumped up to protect Asahina this time, observing Haruhi's back as she waved, and then began talking to a middle-aged man who looked to be the manager. If Haruhi even remotely looks like she's about to do anything fishy, take Ascent under my arm and run for it. On the other side of the dress, Haruhi was talking about pointing some item on display into herself, and then to the Dai. And the Dai was just nodding. I should probably warn him not to. Chris, so Reddit we? Huh? Quis, except Adri or Tempoi. Equise. Alright. You know what, you just move on until him and end the fight. Eventually, Haruhi spun around and pointed to the two of us, who were standing outside the dress door, ready to escape at a moment's notice. She then smiled like she'd eaten some weird shrooms and returned to her animated speech. I wonder what she's doing, I said, hiding behind me to the sides and trusting me, as she repeatedly stuck her face out for a peek before drawing it back. Alright, would it random tier 2 to free E.G.O. message? Oh. Alright. If someone from the future doesn't know, there's no way I would. Beats me! She's probably telling the Dai to give her his most advanced digital handheld camera, free of charge. She's a drove capable of saying stuff like that with a straight face. One slip and you'll have her thinking that the world revolves around her. I sighed. What a pain. I recall opposing a trickery to Nagoto not too long ago. Haruhi believes her values and judgment to be absolute, and it's certain that she has no idea that other people, actually most people, may think or feel differently. If you want to achieve faster than light travel, let Haruhi on your spaceship. He'll simply ignore the theory of relativity for you. I imagine this Nagoto, the reticent pseudo alien spawned up the fall. Retiction. Wait, hold on, let me read right first. Because I'm going to speak about their thoughts. Try to be silent or argumentative in speech. How do I turn them? Oh wait, why is Google my default browser anyway, actually, huh? Ah. Why mention your belief is most likely correct. One of Nagato's more meaningful sentences. A joke that wasn't funny. That is the existence of Haruhi Suzumiya. Ah, it looks like they are done talking. That's in his hustled voice. Brought me out of my flashback. As expected, Haruhi emerged from the trunk store looking very pleased. She was carrying a small box in her hands. I looked at the product photo next to the large logo of a well-known electronics maker. If I wasn't mistaken, it looked like a video camera. What kind of threats did you make? Hand it over, or I'll set fire to the place, boycott the store, send prank faxes all night, go into a violent tantrum on the spot, self-destruct without any warning? Are you insane? I wouldn't use those kinds of blackmail tactics. Haruhi was married, walking under the canopy of the shopping district. The first step was success. Everything's going well. I walked after her, forced to carry the box containing the video camera, and I watched her straight hair swaying across her back. I'm asking how you got such an expensive item for free. Are you holding something over him? Yeah, the first thing she said after leaving the store was, got it. If he's giving away stuff, hook me up. What are the magic words? I looked back with grin on her face. Nothing special. I said that I wanted to film a movie, so he gave me the camera, and the guy was like, sure, and gave it to me. No problem at all. No problem now, maybe, but I have a feeling there will be a problem later on. Or do I just worry too much? Stop getting worked up over every little thing. You just need to work enthusiastically as my servant. Unfortunately, it felt as though last spring I had accidentally gone on a ship with the word Titanic written across its side. I wanted to set out SOS at one point, but I regret to say that I don't know Meursault. First of all, I don't have the temperament to just generously be anyone's servant. Said before, my big issue with is that he just goes on his like tangents that sort of mean nothing constantly. I didn't need to know that, man. I was like, oh, I wish it's like I saw Titanic last spring. Come on, let's go to the next store. Haruhi walked off energetically, arms swinging amid the crowd of shoppers. I exchanged a look with Asahina before running after Haruhi as she faded into the distance at a pace to expect from someone participating in a speed walking race. Let me start hitting this part here. Next place Haruhi visited was a model shop. Asahina and I were whipped outside again as Haruhi engaged in negotiations. The thing to understand, when Haruhi pointed at us through the grass, she was actually pointing at Asahina, like she meant for Asahina to perform some kind of action to serve as payment through services. Asahina, completely oblivious to that fact, was usually staring at the diorama and display taste. Should I tell her? Oh, we actually have an image here. Can I make that bigger real quick? We have another image. It's not really showing the display taste. Unless it's like, oh, it's them pointing to the, or just them negotiating while they are sitting outside, and he has the box there. His mouth is stylized to dope past his face, and Mercury's supposed to not know what's going on. All right. Wait, why am I shrinking this window? I should be shrinking the OBS window. Wait, I already shrank the OBS window. What do you mean? Confusing myself now. I think we're just. After a few minutes of waiting, Haruhi once again emerged from the store carrying a bulky box. What is it this time? A weapon. Haruhi reportedly pressed the box on. Upon first look, I saw the box contained something like a plastic model, and it appeared to be a pistol-type firearm. What was she going to do with this? We'll use it in the action scenes. Some done action. A flashy done fight is one of the basics of entertainment. I like to blow up a few buildings while we are at it. You happen to know where they sell dynamite? I wonder if the general store sells it. How would I know? I can at least tell you that you're not going to find any in convenience stores or on the internet. You might find some lying around if you dove into a drawer. Was the next thing I was about to say, but I swallowed those words. Think about who this is. I wouldn't put it past her to go off in the dead of night to steal fuses and TNT gunpowder. I set the box containing the video camera and model gun on the ground and turned to Haruhi. So, what do we do with all this stuff? Take them home with you for now, and bring them to the club room tomorrow. It'd be a pain to go back to school at this point. Me? You! Haruhi crossed her arms, with a cheery look on her face. A smile rarely seen in the classroom. Her Essos Brigade only smile. Whenever Haruhi smiled like this, I ended up having to run around cleaning up after each disaster. Was I the opposite of the straw millionaire? Asahina was timidly raising her hand. What should I do? You're fine, Mercury. You can go home now. We are done for the day. Asahina blinked her eyes rapidly like a raccoon tub bewitched by a false spirit. Since the only thing she'd done all day was just to follow Haruhi around with me, she had no idea why Haruhi forced her to come along. Haruhi looked like she still had enough energy left to do a second round of cardio exercises as she led us to the nearest station, apparently that took care of the day's Haruhi-related activities. Either her no-saying stills or hidden tactics had yielded a video camera and a small gun. No expense charged. In other words, they were free! People used to say that there was nothing more frightening than getting something for free. The problem was, Haruhi wasn't the least bit stare. Actually, if something out there is capable of staring her, please get in touch with me. The next day, I found myself walking excess baggage, in addition to my book bag up the hill. Yo, Todd! What you carrying there? A present for some dirty little children? That was Tanaduchi, running up next to me. A simple-minded, single-styled idiot. An unmistakably ordinary student you could find anywhere. Ordinary. What a wonderful word. It means so much to me in my current situation. It has the ring of reality to it. I hesitated for a moment for passing the lighter of the two plastic bags onto Tanaduchi. What is this? A model done? I didn't know you had such a dark hobby. Not mine. Haruhi's. I suppose I should have followed up by saying it shouldn't be so quick to label it as a dark hobby. I really can't picture Suzumiya disassembling and cleaning a drop by herself. Neither can I. Since somebody else is going to be disassembling and reassembling this thing. I should mention that when I was a kid, I was able to put together a certain mobile suit, which ended up with me divvying up when I turned to catch the right shoulder joint. What point of me to tell that? Must be rough for you. Tanjushi didn't sound the least bit like he thought it was rough for me. We should search through all ages and places, and the only person willing to praise the Suzumiya would be you. I guarantee it. So hook up with her already. What the hell was he saying? I have no intention of attaching myself to Haruhi in any feasible way. The one I would want to attach myself to would be Asahina, as with anyone else if given the choice. Tanjushi trackled like a demon. Yeah, that won't do. She's the angel of Nursefather, a resting spot for the hearts of the male students. Unless you want half the school to stuff you into a bag, don't do anything funny. You wouldn't want me to lose my head and stab you in the back, right? Now though, my next choice, Nagoto. That's also out of the question. He has more secret admirers than you might expect. Why'd she stop wearing glasses? Did she switch to contacts? Beats me. Ask her yourself. From what I've heard, she ignores anyone who tries to talk to her. Apparently, Nagoto's trust believes that if she says a single word that day, something good or bad will definitely happen. I'm talking about Nagoto like she's a bamboo flower. That kind of fortune telling died out long ago. And while it's true she isn't quite normal, she has some normal qualities. Well, I guess not. And achievement complete. Alright. Now, so zoom now. A miracle in District 20, Buck Dak. And we also swap out for Blade of House of Spiders, Ryōshū. First of Nitrous Mark Node, it should be the Dift one. Gnomes! Approach. Who will be stuffed in the box? Rodion! Does he have the swath? Okay, so since the E.G.O Dift, since I didn't know beforehand that you're supposed to have everyone dead, so that means I'm swapping off the other one. So I have base Rodion instead for the 100% head hit damage, and I have the defense levels from Gregor. Now I remember middle big brother Heathcliff is pointless. So if that's probably a bigger priority to swap off is Heathcliff's too. This one makes you take more damage as well. Probably not the best option. Yo Branch Adept was. That's 50% one trash. That could work. W Torp over here. Ordain's charge something by using still. By using a still. Oh no. No stills. Actually, there's the one E.G.O one maybe, but probably not. Since it was a max for attacking this turn, do 10% damage. Yeah, probably that for 10% damage. Yeah, I'll swap Rodion's off next. And I think this one's still fine over here. Because this one is just 10% damage. Okay, maybe not the best. Maybe something like G-Corp, just for the solid buff there, will be better. Alright, so both those are us. Yeah, I did change around here. Bomb Session, Force for the Flames, Fourth Match Flame, and then Great Crystallium. There's something I stopped recording for something. I forgot what happened. In other words, you and Suzumiya are made for each other. You are the only one capable of talking with her, and it's best to minimize the number of her potential victims. So take care of it! That reminds me, the Social Festival's coming up. What will your club be doing this time? Stop asking me! I'm not the S.W.S. Brigade Relations Public Die. No, Public Relations. But Tanjushi told me continue. If I ask Suzumiya, she'll just feed me some random nonsense. And there's the fear that if I ask at the wrong time, she'll snap. If I ask Yuki Nagoto, she won't give me an answer. And Muruka Asahina is too hard to approach. Talking to the other die pisses me off for some reason. So I'm asking you. The bastard uses some twisted logic. You make it sound like I'm some kind of nice guy. You're not? As far as I'm concerned, you're the kind of nice guy who's willing to walk off a cliff with Asahina. The front gate was within sight. I took the plastic bag back from Tanjushi with this discouraged look on my face. I didn't know where Haruhi's trail was going to lead us, but I was definitely thinking that I shouldn't expect anything good. Haruhi and I weren't the only ones walking this path. At least 3 others I knew were in for a ride. The ride. And while 2 of those were able to take care of themselves, Asuna wasn't safe on her own. She was so hopeless at predicting what was about to happen to her that you would never think she was a time traveler. Well, I guess that works out. Which is why, I said, somebody has to protect her. Yeah, I'm sounding like a main character now. Except the only thing I'm protecting her from would be Haruhi's evil sexual harassment. On a roll, I continued, since I have this chance, I'm going to protect her. I don't care what all the Daizens still have to say. They can go form their own Guardian Angels group if they want. Tanuchi once again trackled like one of those railing old man demons. Don't overdo it. There's at least one new moon every month. After delivering what sounded like a notice from a phantom killer, he ducked into the front gate. As I walked through the hallway in front of our classroom with my burden, I came across Haruhi putting her things into her walker. I followed suit, stuffing the box containing the electronics and the plastic model into the steel walker with my seat number. John, we're going to be busy. Without even saying good morning, Haruhi slammed her walker shut and turned to me with a smile like Indian summer. Send this for Maruku, Yuki, and Tozumi. I won't allow any complaining. The new strip is already bubbling in my mind. It's almost ready to burst. All that remains is to put it into action. I see. I answered half-heartedly as I entered the classroom. My desk was second from the back of the room. We changed seating arrangements multiple times since the beginning of the first semester, but I had yet to get a seat in the last row. Because Haruhi always ended up sitting behind me. It had gone to the point where it had become a bit too unnatural to shrug it off, but I still believed it to be coincidence. I don't have faith in coincidence. Coincidence is going to lose confidence in itself. Alright, where were we? Wait. I'm actually a pretty considerate person, since anybody hanging around with Haruhi would have to be. Like a defensive midfielder in a soccer match who has to run down loose balls. Since Haruhi would be super offensive-minded forward, who's way offside the second someone touches the ball. She might even be standing behind the opposing keeper. Passing the ball to her would just result in the referee raising his flag. But since this is Haruhi, she'd just say it was a mistaken call. In fact, she would say with a straight face that the rule itself makes no sense. She might even start arguing that picking up the ball and running into the goal should count as a goal. Suggestion that she should take up rugby would be though ignored. Okay, tell me here for team. No fusion dift. Okay, +4, 7. Yeah, that's stuff that's actually. Something to note here, Line 1 Madness doesn't have the exclusive diffs, I think. It's missing the 2T wordless ones. At least I don't see them here. Maybe I'm just not seeing it, so just glance through it. But it's missing, it's supposed to be Line 1 Madness, but it doesn't have Line 1 Madness diffs. It doesn't have the Pulse Halo and Snake Swall. Well, it is still a new pack. I was maybe I'll give it to you on completion, because the hidden boss ones don't have their diff on it. So, alright, 4-9. What's this? The best way to deal with an audacious person on a rampage would be to casually leave the scene. We can never hurt a thing or give up and do as she says. The other people in our school year were already doing so. Which was why, when Haruhi disappeared from the classroom, when 6th period ended and the final homeroom period began, neither homeroom teacher Okabe nor anybody else said a word about the fact that the seat behind me was empty. Did they not notice, or were they just pretending not to notice? Not like they could do anything about it. Well, everyone knew it was best just to leave her alone. I headed for the clubhouse with a bad feeling in my gut before coming to a halt in front of the club room, carrying the bags loaded with assorted boxes. I could hear something. Asuna's helpless voice crying out. Haruhi's obnoxious voice shouting. She was doing it again. But I opened the door just then. I parted to witness a very fine sight. Being a man with common sense, though, I stoically resisted my fantasies and waited patiently. After 5 minutes, the weak struggle inside came to a finish. Everyone want to hit that one. Hit this one. This one. That's double that, I guess. I was sure Haruhi was standing with her hands on her hips and a triumphant look on her face, based on the reasoning that a rabbit cannot win against an anaconda. I couldn't see Asuna ever winning. I knocked. Come in! A boisterous response from Haruhi. As I wondered about tons of the paper bags I'd seen that morning, I opened the door and entered the room. The first thing I saw was, in fact, Haruhi's triumphant face. However, I was pretty sick of that sight. With fervent ardor, I turned my attention to the person seated in the metal chair in front of Haruhi. A waitress sat there, looking at me with teary eyes. The waitress, hair disheveled, was doing an impression of E.G.O being silent. Her head was drooped. Her full chestnut hair had been tied by Haruhi into 2 pigtails dangling behind her head. Oddly enough, E.G.O was nowhere to be seen. Well, Haruhi asked me with a self-satisfied smirk. Why do you look like you had something to do with this? Asena's adorableness is her own. Then again. You know, I think it looks nice. How does Asahina feel about it? Not that I have any objections. But isn't the skirt a tad too short? Asahina was as perfect a waitress as 100% fruit juice is pure. Her trenched fish rested on her knees. You look so particularly perfect, like you're dressed in tailor-made clothes. This is why I spent a good 30 seconds staring in silence at Asahina before jumping when I was tapped on the shoulder. We have another fight node. No touch mark node so far. Why, hello. I am terribly sorry about yesterday. We were supposed to do a run-through of the strip today, but I had them wrap things up early. I found myself endlessly running around in circles. Suzumi's handsome, cheery face peered over my shoulder into the club room. Oh, he smiled merrily. What do we have here? Suzumi passed next to me and set his book bag on the table. We're sitting in one of the metal chairs. It looks quite splendid on you, Asahina. Suzumi says, John, Haruhi said, Makuru will be wearing this outfit in the movie. A maid won't work? A maid's job is to a rich person's mansion to provide personal service. It's different from a waitress. The goal there is to provide assorted services to an unspecified number of customers in a shop on a corner for 730 yen an hour. Not sure if that's a good wage or not, but it's not like Asahina is dressing up to serve in a mansion or work some part-time job. Maybe if Haruhi actually paid her. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all about feeling. I like how this feels. Who cares about you? How does Asahina feel about this? Suzumiya, it seems a little too small for me. Asahina seemed quite concerned. She was incessantly tugging downward on the hem of her miniskirt. But her motions were too tantalizing. You realize that my eyes can't help but be drawn there, right? It's just fine. A perfect fit! I forced myself to look away and focus instead on Haruhi smiling like a colorful flower blooming in the jungle. Haruhi directed her eyes, always looking forward at me. The concept for our film, she pointed to Asahina, curled up in a fetal position, is this! This? Are you doing a documentary on the daily life of a girl working in a cafe? No, there isn't anything fun about taking secret videos of Miruku's daily life. Only way to ever get an interesting story out of filming someone's daily life would be if it was about a person living an extremely eccentric life. Filming the daily life of an ordinary high school student would only be for self-satisfaction. Oh, I saw a burn one from this. Oh, okay. Your poise? Nothing. Nothing. I spent all my poises trying to get the sad plushie in the previous pack. They're all gone. Wait, this is new. I see an old voice worker with a faded label. Well, Operation. Brand Survivor interview logs. The play button is smooth and worn from use, as though someone pressed it hundreds of times. Oh, I think this is wait, play the recording, yeah. Researcher, well, are we ready to begin the interview? A thoroughly pointless story to set forth when we both know that you are given every floor you choose when to start. Haha, right there. Let's dive straight in. Regarding the what was the situation like when it happened? The entire facility began to quake and buckle. Then came the broadcast. You're seeing a site burial in 100 seconds. 100 seconds? Yes, it does sound rather brief. The different technology imported at Corp and the availability of transport units, there should have been enough time to evacuate. As you may know, the E.G.O branch was one of the larger facilities, housing numerous admirals of higher risk levels. Take for instance. And naturally, some of those entities had the ability to seize control of the facility. Most exits were dead, including the elevators. We only had a single escape pod arriving. I was deemed the individual of highest human resource value among those present. The only personnel for whom any available means of escape should be reserved. The others agreed, quite rationally, that I should be the one to evacuate. That is all. You sound remarkably calm. as if you are rewaiting an event that didn't even happen to you. Unnecessary addenda won't change the tour issue of the subject under discussion. Wouldn't you agree? Nothing to be more inefficient than adding pointless sentiment to words. You feel sorry for them? Not even trace of remorse? None. The prerequisite of apologetic sentiment in the existence of those who should receive it. That condition does not apply to me. Here we go. I have no need to indulge in such sentimentalities. In the audiobook, researchers continue to answer questions with a flat detachment. When was set into harsh, jarring static, leaving a hollow silence in its wake. And workers update. After 60 counter runs, I was not second enters forced stagger state. Okay, sure. Oh, damn. Not what I was looking for.